Okay, buckle up because today's deep dive is taking us straight into the emotional whirlwind that is Genesis 35. Seriously, this chapter has more drama than a season finale. We're talking life-altering encounters with God, gut-wrenching loss, and enough family drama to make you glad you're just listening in.
You're not kidding.
We're picking up with Jacob, who's reeling from some seriously intense events in Shechem. He gets this message from God, a direct instruction to head back to Bethel. Now, Bethel isn't just some random location. What's the significance of this place, for Jacob especially?
Bethel is where it all began for Jacob, spiritually speaking. It's where he had that first powerful encounter with God, the one that changed everything. So you see, this isn't just about moving locations. It's about Jacob realigning himself with God. It's like hitting the reset button on his spiritual journey.
A spiritual reset. I like that. And he's really serious about this, isn't he? He tells his entire family to ditch any foreign gods and purify themselves. It's like he's saying, we're starting fresh and we're doing this right.
It's a powerful statement, absolutely. And it really highlights Jacob's evolution. This is a man known for his cunning, his wrestling, literally, with God. Now we see him stepping into a leadership role, guiding his family towards spiritual renewal.
And it gets even more intentional. He builds an altar at Bethel and gives it a name. El Bethel, God of the house of God. It's like he's planting his flag, declaring his loyalty for everyone to see.
Exactly. It's a public declaration of faith, a bold affirmation of the covenant he has with God. And this is where it gets even more fascinating, because God appears again to Jacob at Bethel. But it's not just a quick, hey there. God reaffirms Jacob's name change to Israel and showers him with blessings, descendants, as countless as the stars, a whole nation springing from him. These aren't just blessings for Jacob, are they?
You have to wonder if Jacob even grasped the full weight of these promises in that moment. We're talking about generational blessings shaping the destiny of his descendants for centuries to come.
Right. This is about legacy, about carrying the faith forward. It's a huge responsibility, but also an incredible privilege. And it makes you appreciate the weight that names carried in this world.
Speaking of names, this is where the story takes a heartbreaking turn. In the midst of all this joy and promise, tragedy strikes. Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, dies. It seems like a small detail, but it's specifically mentioned. Why is this loss, even of someone who's not a central character, significant?
Deborah represents a link to the past, to Rebecca's childhood. Her death, while seemingly minor, is a poignant reminder of the passage of time, of the inevitable cycles of life and loss, even as new life is emerging.
And speaking of new life, we have the birth of Benjamin, but it comes at a devastating cost. Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife, dies in childbirth. It's just utterly heartbreaking. The name she chooses for their son, Benoni, son of my sorrow, just gets you right in the feels. But then Jacob renames him Benjamin, son of my right hand. It's like he's trying to find a glimmer of hope amidst the pain.
This name change is so poignant. You see Jacob wrestling with immense grief. Yet there's this incredible resilience in him, this deep love for Rachel. He's not trying to erase the sorrow, but he's choosing to also see the hope, the strength represented by his right-hand son.
It's a testament to the complexity of their relationship, the favoritism Jacob showed Rachel over Leah. And speaking of complicated family dynamics, remember that family drama I mentioned? Well, here it comes. Reuben, Jacob's oldest son, does something truly shocking. He sleeps with Bilhah, one of Jacob's concubines. To fully grasp the weight of this, you have to understand the cultural dynamics of the time. This wasn't just a personal betrayal, it was a transgression against the social order, a violation of trust with far-reaching consequences.
Exactly. It's an act that sends shockwaves through the family structure, setting a dangerous precedent. You can just imagine the ripples of this act, how it would impact the family for generations.
It's a stark reminder that even in the midst of blessings and spiritual renewal, life can throw some serious curveballs. And if that wasn't enough, Jacob's father, Isaac, dies at the ripe old age of 180. This brings us back to that theme of cyclical life and legacy that began with Deborah's passing.
It's a reminder of the natural order of things. One generation passes and another rises to take its place. But even in death, there's a glimmer of hope, wouldn't you say?
Because amidst the mourning, something pretty remarkable happens. Jacob and Esau, those two brothers with a lifetime of baggage between them, actually reunite for their father's burial.
It's a brief but powerful scene. After years of animosity, there's a hint of reconciliation, a flicker of forgiveness. It reminds us that even in the face of death, there's always potential for healing and renewed relationships.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. From spiritual highs to the depths of human sorrow, Genesis 35 is a whirlwind. What's your final takeaway from this emotional roller coaster of a chapter?
For me, it's the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Despite facing unimaginable loss and navigating incredibly complex family dynamics, Jacob keeps going. He keeps seeking God, keeps leading his family, keeps trusting in the promises made to him. It's a powerful reminder that even in the midst of suffering, faith and hope can endure.
It really makes you think about the cycles we all experience in life, the joys, the sorrows, the challenges we face, and the moments of grace that carry us through. So tell me, what resonated with you the most from this deep dive into Genesis 35? Did anything surprise you? What will you be pondering